So with the most recent series of layoffs at Google blindsiding literally thousands of employees, can we finally have the conversation about how there really should be mass unionizing efforts in the tech industry? Like, I get it, right? More than almost any other industry, unions in tech are treated like a really dirty word. But also, like, I don't know, maybe not having any protections, essentially, against companies whose literal job often is to make people's tasks and work redundant isn't smart? Maybe that's what we call dumb. You know?
Hello everyone, it's Emmanuel Cooke. Today we will be reacting to a new video, and I hope that you guys enjoy the video.
PSA, job security doesn't exist. Some people make decisions because they think it helps their job security. They say things like lie low, don't go against the grain, all because they're afraid of losing their job. Job security doesn't exist. Time and time again, the market has shown us that you can be fired at the drop of a hat. Even 7-year-old kids don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. And you're a grown-ass adult and you still believe in job security? Wake up.
There is no such thing as job security. A lot of people have said they've been going to big companies so they can get job security, and they're finding out that does not exist. Google, Facebook, all of these large tech companies are laying people off right now. Let me tell you a story about a family friend. He has worked at Foot Locker for 20 years. He has put a great portion of his life and time into that company, and he just got shit canned this week. Can you imagine working 20 years at a company and just getting, hey, we're letting you go, and you're in your 50s? It's too late to start over. You know, it's just a horrible situation. And I've known this for a long time because, you know, my family, we got started, you know, being entrepreneurs after, you know, my grandfather got screwed working for the same company, always got screwed on his bonus. And my dad saw that growing up, and he says, that's not going to be me. And as soon as he started working for a company and got screwed, he started his own business. And at the end of the day, it is very risky running your own business. You're responsible for everything. But I think there's way more security in owning your own business, because at the end of the day, I think you are always going to get screwed working for someone else. I see it with my friends. It's Christmas time. They work for these real estate companies. They always get screwed on their bonus, their commission. So at the end of the day, I recommend starting your own business. It's going to be 10 times more work than working a 9 to 5, but you are going to have more security in the long term. And especially we're about to enter another, recession, depression, and these companies have no loyalty anymore, and they are going to be laying off everyone. And it makes economic sense. Someone that's been there for 20 years, they've built in a high salary, their healthcare is higher. They are the first ones to go. They will hire new graduates to do the same job for half the price. So look at starting a business if you want to be, financially free, because, this myth of working for a big company and having job security is a joke. So follow me, the Bitcoin Capitalist, if you want to learn more about Bitcoin.
Most job security is no longer secure. You fill out all these applications, you go on all of these interviews, you answer all of these questions, you fill out all of this paperwork, you take all of this training just for somebody to possibly snatch your job up after a month and a half due to performance issues. Fuck out there. Wake the fuck up, Preston. We are going through a renaissance period right now, and it is the digital renaissance, which means any motherfucking body who has enough gumption and enough wherewithal to actually start the process, do the process, and see the shit through can start making more money than a motherfucker who went to school, got good grades, and got the good job that they were supposed to retire from. There are some 9-to-5ers that are going to be an integral part of the economy, but we are quickly transitioning into an entrepreneurial economy.
Hey, friend. Okay, so let's talk. Let's talk jobs. Because one thing I've known for a very long time is that you are a number at your job, okay? And that number can get called at any point in time. And if you don't have something that you are building and developing for yourself, then you are just over broke. One step, one decision, one call out from being broke. Then what? life is going to start lifing. So listen, before all that happens, figure out what you're good at. Tap into finding your purpose, because I promise you that day is going to come, okay? And it is going to knock you off your square if you're not prepared. Be prepared, because I am so uneasy at work. I'm never comfortable, and I make good money. I'm never comfortable though. Always develop your own lane so that when that day comes, you and your family are taken care of. Okay? Do not put your life in somebody else's hands. Okay? That's all I gotta say. Have a blessed day, guys. Drink your water and mind your business.
A lot of people are stuck because they're like, well, I need job security. There's no such thing as job security. I'm telling you what I know. Like, they could decide to terminate your position like that, okay? And they are banking on you being so loyal to them that you are disloyal to yourself. And I'll tell you guys a little story before I get into my 5 action steps, okay? So around 2022, I had to work retail for a bit, and I worked at the grocery store up the street. For those of you that live in the DMV area, I worked at Giant Food, okay? And I can say this now because I don't work there and they don't have power over me. So I was a cashier, but I was also working in my business. I was also doing one-on-ones with clients. Like, I was still working, right? But I was so tired all the time. And you know that I almost passed out? That's how tired and stressed and rushed and chaotic I was back then. It was a hot mess. I didn't even have like the energy really, and I was pushing through, and it was taking a toll on my mental state.
Job security doesn't exist anymore. I work at Google, which is considered to be a dream company by many, but in the last 2 years, I've seen managers and mentors getting laid off after 5 to 10 years of high performance at the company. And what happened is that the corporation needed to prioritize its bottom line over their personal goals. And no matter where you work, this is always going to happen. So as employees, the only way to give ourselves true job security is to have such an in-demand skill that you can work for any employer you choose. And in this day and age, you need to understand and be able to leverage AI so that you can automate the part of your job that doesn't need to be done by a human. What do you think?
There's no such thing as job security anymore. All of you need to be working on a side hustle, a side business, something to sustain you other than relying on corporations to take care of you. Corporations have corporate greed. They're all about capitalism and not about the people, and they don't care about you. And the worst thing corporations can do is tell you, oh, we're a family. You know, that toxic family work culture that they give you. It's just a line of bull of crap just to get you to invest your time, your energy, your good heart, good value, good nature into this corporation, who will fire you on the spot just because and give you no severance. Literally, get your bag.
Yo, is there such thing as a secure job? Like, I can't lie. Those people that come there and say, yeah, I'm in a secure job, you know, I don't want to leave, I'm scared, I've got to stay here forever. Okay? Like, you're telling me they couldn't just make you redundant. It's still not secure. Like, yes, you might have been there for years and years, but slowly there could be a time where they just kick you out, because that's how the world works. Sometimes you might be on a high, sometimes you might be on a low. Now, having a job is not secure. It's okay to, you know, move out of a job because you want to pursue something else. So don't think that you're stuck in the same job forever, that, you know, you're going to be safe forever. I'm telling you, it doesn't work like that. There's so many companies out there that just make people redundant and no questions asked, they're just gone. So for me personally, I don't believe in a security in a job, because at any time they can kick you out. They don't actually care about you, and that's the truth. That's the harsh truth. So, you know, instead of thinking that a company loves you, start to maybe build out your own business. And if you don't want to do your own businesses, that's fine. I'm not talking to you. You know, I'm talking to the people who want to do their own businesses, who want to do their own ventures in life. Yes, even with business, it's not steady all the time. You're going to have good months, you're going to have bad months, but that's just business. But your really good months could be way better than a whole year's worth of wage. So, depends. You just make your choice.
There is really no such thing as job security in this industry, because I am working on a dream show as a dream part with a dream director and living my best life in social media. And before the show, I'm stressing and filming self-tapes and being like, I have no job lined up. And that's okay. But I just wanted to be transparent and show people that while it looks like, I got everything figured out, and I'm so thankful to have a job right now, I don't have a job in 2 weeks. So that's that. None of us know what we're doing. And if anyone on social media looks like they do, they're lying.
So I just quit my corporate job, and everyone in my life thought I was nuts. Delulu, if you will. But what's delulu to me is the illusion of safety that comes with a corporate job. Let me explain. Whenever you get a job, people are like, oh, it's all about the benefits. It's all about the base salary. Everything is in the name of security. But that doesn't necessarily make you safe from something like maybe a mass layoff, or what other companies use as a reorg, and then they get rid of a bunch of employees in the name of reorganization. So in the US, if you lose your job, you can collect unemployment, still have to deal with your own health insurance. So the two things, other than maybe your intrinsic value in the company, are taken away from you if you get laid off. Personally, I don't want to really take that chance anymore. I'd rather bet on myself to make money and pay for my own insurance out of pocket than to rely on a company's discretion at keeping me based on whatever metric they decide when they decide to get rid of people. Because any company looks at you as replaceable. And while that's really harsh, that literally hurt my soul when I heard that the first time, I believe it to be true. So they can fire me, but I can't fire myself. I'm stuck with me. This is no shade to anybody who has a corporate job. I just got out of 7 years of working in a corporate environment. All I'm saying is that I'd rather depend on me. That did take so much mindset work and so much work on myself to actually believe that I was capable of taking care of myself. And for those of us who have had stressful careers, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in, a price you pay for that is also with your own sanity and your own stress levels and your own well-being. I'm going to do a part 2 on that one. If you're in your working years, you should definitely start a side hustle and at least start learning some skills to build an online business, learning how to make money online. The reason I say that is because a friend of mine just lost her job last week, and her position was terminated. And she really didn't have anything to fall back on. Sure, she had some savings account and she has a really great resume and she'll find another job. But the thought of that is a little frightening, especially if that were to happen to me. Luckily, I started a side hustle a few months ago to learn some digital marketing skills that I can use in order to generate some more streams of income. And that wasn't, in case I lose my job. Actually, it's so I can replace my job one day. But again, if you're in the working years and you worry about things like that, I would learn some digital marketing skills if I were you.
Your job is not secure. You might think it is. I worked so hard to go to school, and I worked hard, and I got the job, and I'm working, and I'm doing a good job, but that doesn't mean your job is secure. You can work hard, you can be a good worker, but if your boss has some reason not to keep you on, then you can get fired very easily. Your hours can be reduced, your wage can get lowered. Things happen in business that sometimes your boss just can't control. And if they can't control it and it affects you, then that's just how it is, because you're an employee. You're beholden to your boss for your employment. But if you own your own business, you aren't beholden to anybody except for yourself and how you want to do what you want to do. I'll give you a little story. I know somebody who worked incredibly hard from 11 o'clock in the morning all the way to 11 o'clock at night, 12 hours a day, every single day, 6 days a week, except for one day. Just one day they had off. And sometimes the boss would ask them to come in to cover somebody else's shift. And that's 7 days a week, 12 hours every single day. And they worked hard and they didn't take any days off unless they were deathly ill. He had a cold, still went to work. Feet hurt, still went to work. But since he's a delivery driver, job's not that secure, especially with Uber Eats and Grubhub and DoorDash and all these different delivery apps that they have now. And that affected his business, not his business, his boss's business. He had no control over it. but it affected him. So now he's working much less hours, much less days, only now 3 or 4 days a week, maybe 5. I think it was 4 days a week that he's working compared to what he was doing before. He has bills to pay and things that he needs to do that he was needing that money for, that now, because his hours are lessened, he can't do anymore. That's just one of the many out there who have similar stories where their hours are cut, their jobs aren't as secure. It's just the nature of being an employee. So just be careful. Think of some way to not deal with that. I don't even know how that can happen, how you can stop it, how you can stop it at all, really. Just try not to be an employee, I guess. But it's challenging because you got to work to make money to live. But you know what you could do? Like this video and follow me for more. Or just follow me. What you got to lose?
I've had a lot of people come up to me asking me where they need to go work to get that job security now in this market. I hate to break it to you, but there is no job security. That's a fictional thing. It does not exist. There was a small moment in time where you could find that job security in these big tech Fortune 500 companies, but if the recession has taught us anything, it's that you could get laid off literally in an instant, and sometimes I feel like this is more volatile than a startup. Even though job security doesn't exist, financial security does exist. Reframe your mind and change your mindset around finding job security and instead start to build financial security. When you are making an income, try to think about how you can double, triple your money in the future. Make a job that teaches you a skill to have passive income through a side hustle. For example, through a marketing job, you could learn social media skills, create an account, and create passive income through that. And instead of trying to join that big company that's going to give you the illusion of job security, maybe try to join that startup early so you can have equity in a company that's going to be worth so much more in the future. Even when you stop working there, you'll be making money from it. The idea of job security comes from our parents. It comes from immigrant mindset. That stuff is in the past. Entering a new decade where security comes from having freedom of money, freedom of time to do whatever you want, and to never have to fear that if you lose your job one day, you won't be able to pay off your mortgage and your entire livelihood will be at risk. Even though our parents lived like that, it's just really not going to work out like that in the next era of the world.
This week during my one-on-one, I asked my boss if my job was secure because we're in a recession. Let's talk about it while I eat lunch. I think it's extremely important in order to be comfortable and confident to have that conversation with your boss, because at the end of the day, it's your paycheck, it's your livelihood, right? How I worded it was that I was becoming more and more concerned about the recession, and then I was becoming worried about my job security. And I wanted to talk to my boss about this whole situation because I'm not trying to leave. I would like to do everything I can to stay, but I'm just becoming worried. I don't know. I've always found it really important to voice my concerns, especially with my boss. And I kind of feel better talking about it, but I don't know.
People will say it's riskier to go down the route of entrepreneurship and making money online than it is to be in a stable job. You could be in that job for years on end and get absolutely nowhere. In the same way that you could start a business and you could fall flat in your arse. But the difference is, when you fall flat on your arse in that business, you will learn in a way that will help you come back and improve your chances of that business succeeding. Whereas in employment, yeah, you might move on to a slightly better paid job, but realistically, is the gain going to be that significant compared to entrepreneurship? No. And especially if you're the kind of person that wants to take ownership over your work and have control over your money in a different way, entrepreneurship is a better route to take. And when I say entrepreneurship, I don't mean being the next Richard Branson. It could be as little as starting a side hustle where you're progressively earning a few £1,000s a year, and then it moves on to your full-time income. And you need to recognise where you're at now in that journey, and the first step is learning how to make your first few dollars online, and then it goes up from there.
Oh, you haven't heard the news. Okta had a round of layoffs today. I don't know everyone who's affected. I don't know if friends of mine are affected, but I think it's going to show that it's becoming evident that you could just wake up in the morning and find out your job decided that you're not necessary anymore and lays you off. I've said it before. There's no such thing as job security. So if you want to build job security and have that job security, you need to start focusing on yourself and your skill set. You have a superpower, so why don't you use it to make sure that you're financially stable moving on? It's one of the key things that we try to teach with multi-threaded income is that use your superpower for good and to help you and maybe eventually even help others. So if you haven't checked out the podcast, I highly recommend it.
That is it for today. I appreciate you guys watching the video, and like, comment, and subscribe down below, and see you in the next video.